unsettled. That's where I found myself in the winter of 2021. The problem is, unsettled isn't anywhere at all. As a man, this isn't a good place to be for long. As a husband and a father, it's untenable. Why? Because it wasn't just affecting me. I had passengers on my train bound for somewhere, or nowhere.
Running as slowly as I can. I don't know where I'm headed. Not a very good escape plan.
Scared to go, afraid to stay, worried at the thought of steering my family down a wrong road, heartbroken at the thought of leaving dear friends, grasping for purpose and desperately not wanting to be labeled by people I respected as a coward, or worse, a fraud. These thoughts were unrelenting as winter thawed into spring. As pressure built, these thoughts kept me frozen in place, or more accurately, no place. The hard questions are the ones we try the hardest to avoid asking. Not because the asking is so difficult, but because the answers are. Usually it's our instinct towards self-preservation that keeps these questions unasked and unanswered. The fear is that the answers would leave us exposed. Runnin asks some questions, some hard ones. Are we moving towards something? We're just running away. And if we're just running, are we gonna be okay? The pressure of expectations, mine and others, I hadn't realized that it had been building inside of me for a lifetime. On the evening of May 9th in our apartment in Brest, France, those questions got the better of me. The cork came out of the champagne bottle and it wouldn't go back in. I had tried so hard for so long to keep my show on the road. But on that 9th evening of May 2021, the wheels came off and I crashed. It didn't resemble a peaceful wilting under the weight of the world or a dignified deconstruction. It was a soul-crushing, heartbreaking scene. Ugly, emotional, part implosion, part explosion, I guess. After the breakdown, there was a part of me that didn't get back up. But that was fine. A necessary casualty on the road from this dead end back to the beginning. The next day, the sun came up. It was May 10th, Courtney's birthday. She and the boys got an early start to the day, and I was left alone with someone I didn't quite recognize. I felt lighter and heavier all at the same time, a strange sensation. Lighter because of what I knew was something heavy that had broken off of me, heavier because of the uncertainty that took its place. I'm not where I'm going, but I'm not where I used to be. Somehow I knew that the version of me that had been put to death the night before would make it possible for something else to come to life, something true. It felt like it was the first day of something new, and long overdue. I remember picking up my guitar and attempting to commemorate what had happened by writing a part peace offering, part birthday song to Courtney. Day one grew to represent not just the turn of a page from one chapter to the next, but a rebirth. Day one in our new life has just begun. I've heard it said that in life, there are no shortcuts, but some destinations are certainly worth a risk. That late spring, I found myself embarking on a journey to a place I'd never been. Ahead of me was sure to be a long, death-defying one-way drive from my dead end to a new beginning. And proceeding with caution wasn't gonna work. I definitely needed a soundtrack for this road trip. Daylight is the theme song for the long drive to nowhere. Or everywhere. detours, and the occasional desire to just give up and go back to the familiar mean that the decision to continue has to be made over and over and over again. In those moments, I hear hope whisper, "Jeremiah, just keep your hands on the wheel, push the pedal to the metal, and don't stop till you get there. Even if it takes all night, it's going to be worth the drive when we see those blue skies after the long night surrenders to the sunrise."
When we see those blue skies after the long night surrenders to the sunrise, and everything is
Runnin, day one, and daylight represent steps in my process of breaking free from the pressures and expectations that are so often placed upon us. To live up to those expectations, we too often work so hard to craft an image of ourselves, applying layer upon layer in an effort to become more acceptable to people. The result is that one day, we don't even recognize ourselves. Where is God in all this? That's an obvious question, and one I asked myself often. Sometimes we hope God's grace will look like a rescue, but the rough parts of life have a way of knocking off our rough edges like nothing else really can. Being rescued from friction can leave us unfinished. Sometimes we expect it to look like mercy, but easing the pain can mask the symptoms of deeper issues that need to be remedied, leaving us on the road to a pain-free death. God's grace for me during this difficult season was found in a small group of amazing people in a city located at the end of the world. Brest, France, and our friends there were His grace, the cushion that broke my fall. My family left a part of our hearts there in the cold, wind-driven rain, warm homes, and friendships that will last a lifetime. Finally, why these songs from me now? Because vulnerability is risky but essential. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's found myself under an avalanche of pressure and expectations. If you are in a similar place, I hope these songs offer some encouragement to you and even hope.